Okay, so I don't want to do power rankings for four teams. I think that's kind of dumb, especially because these are the best of the best. So no matter what, like you can have someone at four and someone else can have them like one or two or three. So instead, what I want to do is go through all four teams, just kind of talk about all four teams and their best chance to win a ring, win the Super Bowl. So we'll start with the NFC because that game is first. So we'll start with the number one seeded Eagles, who are hosting the NFC Championship game this year. Really, the main thing they have to do is be able to run the ball and that offense be able to just disrupt Brock Purdy a lot. And that's again, you're at home, you're gonna have your home fans. Eagles fans, they can get wild and crazy and whatnot. They do have a reputation for a reason. But it's gonna probably come down more so to that defense than that offense. I think their offense is really high powered. You have again Jalen Hurts, who's a dual threat. You have a wide receiver one in AJ Brown, but then you have a very good backfield too. You have a good tight end too, and very good offensive line too. So I'm not as worried about the Eagles. I think they can win the Super Bowl if they want to, if they're able to. I do think the Niners defense is going to give them the hardest challenge of the other three teams left. So this is kind of like, hey, if you can beat the Niners, it's okay. Well, which defense, do you want to face more? It's probably the Chiefs. I think I would probably honestly want to face the Chiefs more than the Bengals. I feel like the Bengals with last year, and we'll talk about them, but I feel like they're kind of like, hey, we know how to get here. We got here. We know how to get past the AFC Championship game. So I feel like if you're better chance against that Chiefs defense and that Bengals defense. But it's how well can the Eagles defense hold up against the Niners offense? Are they going to be able to do what Dallas did and disrupt with the pass rush? The O-line for the Niners wasn't insane. They weren't just stopping everything. Like there was some pressure there. But I don't really think Micah Parsons is kind of on a different level. So I think that's the thing. Like the Eagles don't have like that kind of guy on their line. But they make up for it in their secondary. I think their secondary is very good. So it's you're gonna have Ayuk, Kittle. Probably Kittle's gonna be double teamed a lot. He wasn't really a factor too much in the Dallas game, but can you take Kittle out of the equation? Can you make him throw it at Jennings or these other non Ayuk wide receivers? And I think they can. And again, if you can get Brock Purdy, just so he's not standing in the pocket for 10 seconds looking around, so a wide receiver can get open. If you can get pressure on him, I think you can get past him. And then again. If you're the Eagles, I probably want the Chiefs more than the Bengals. The Bengals were just there last year. Now the Chiefs have been there, but it's been, was it 3 years? I believe it's been 3. I think. I'm trying to remember. Who was the? No, I'm sorry. It was Bucks and Chiefs the year before. Never mind. So it's been 2 years. But it's different pieces. You don't have Tyreek Hill on that offense anymore. You have someone like MVS who's never even. Well, he's gotten to the NFC Championship game, but Juju. You got some wide receivers first time going to the Super Bowl. So the pressure is different in the Super Bowl. So if I'm the Eagles, I'm thinking, hey, if we can beat the Niners, then we're praying the Chiefs can win because that's probably their easiest route to a Super Bowl. So we'll move on to the Niners. Basically, this is simple. It's basically, can the defense dominate? Can the defense keep the offense off? Keep Brock Purdy. So it doesn't have to throw 60 times, in these last two games. Again, if they can make the Super Bowl, can they just disrupt the Eagles and really get to Jalen Hurts, kind of keep him in the pocket? Because again, if you let him run, he's gonna run. He's gonna take off if he needs to. So can you hold him in the pocket? Can you your secondary? The secondaries can be suspect at times, and especially I am interested to see how they're going to handle AJ Brown this week. or this weekend. Because if you can't handle him, then it's like, okay, well, AJ Brown might go for like 150 plus. So it's that O line can the linebackers kind of cover up a little bit for that secondary. I said I'm sorry, D line. Excuse me, I said O line. Can the D line and the linebackers kind of cover up for that secondary? Get pressure on Jalen Hurts so he's throwing bad balls and whatnot. And again, offensively, it's all these weapons on offense, the run game, which honestly, the run game wasn't too effective against Dallas. I think McCaffrey, was it under 50 yards last week, I think. He did get hurt. He was kind of stretching out his knee, or knee or ankle or whatever, like end of the third quarter. So he wasn't, playing the full game. So he probably would have had maybe 75, 80 yards if he was, playing the full game. But can they get him going, keep him healthy and whatnot? And if that's yes, I think you can beat the Eagles. I think you can beat the Bengals. I think you can beat the Chiefs. Now, I think there's a lot of the mentality of wants revenge. So I think, Niners are going to be cheering for the Chiefs to win the AFC Championship game. At least the fan, I'm sure probably players too, but at least the fans, they're going to want revenge in the Super Bowl. They're going to want to take them on again. Try not to blow another 10-point lead. So, I think the Niners are thinking, hey, like, we want the Chiefs more than the Bengals because we want this to be a revenge Super Bowl game from, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years. But they want them again. I think that's, I think Niners just really want the Chiefs again. So, both NFC teams, again, in my opinion, I think the Bengals are the harder team, to beat. Whoever comes on the NFC, it's going to be, okay, well, you want to match up against the Chiefs, whether it's revenge or whether it's just, hey, like, we can do whatever we want. I think the Bengals are going to give the Niners or the Eagles a challenge. And we'll jump into them. I was going to, do both one seats first, but this is a good jumping in point for the Bengals. And, if you're the Bengals, you're not scared of anyone. You've beaten Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game literally a year ago. Not to the day, but it's been, a football year ago. You're able to probably, your deal with Lamar Jackson, Huntley, in the AFC North. So you're used to a mobile QB that's able to, get around. You're used to being able to try to contain them and whatnot. And then again, it's a rookie QB for the Niners. So if you can get pressure on him and he starts throwing bad balls and he starts looking like a rookie, he's a rookie QB. He's going to make those mistakes, but if he has time in that pocket, it's going to be a long day for that Niners defense. So you're hoping that Bengals defense, not oh my God. It's going to be a long day for that Bengals defense. So you're hoping, Eli Apple didn't curse you and he's, talking all this crap online. Another Super Bowl loss would be insane, just back-to-back years. But, you're hoping your secondary is able to, do what they can do against, if it's the Niners, hold them to that. Hold them. Again, it's going to be hard to because they have so many weapons. Whereas, again, it's a clear wide receiver. Well, obviously, it's a clear wide receiver one for the Niners, but there's so many ways you can go. Whereas A.J. Brown, it's like, hey, he's kind of above and beyond every, wide receiver and whatnot else on the team. So it's like, hey, if you can take him out, make Hurts, again, try to keep him contained in the pocket like you would with Lamar, make him throw bad balls, get him to, other different wide receivers besides A.J. Brown, then I think they can take care of the Eagles with ease. And offensively, I mean, they're a high-powered offense, too. You have a good run game. You have a good tight end. You have good wide receivers and whatnot. And you have one of the best QBs right now in the league. You have the only QB that was just there, again, a year ago in the Super Bowl. He's going to know what it takes. Now, Patrick Mahomes, again, 2 years ago. But, you have a lot of this team was just there with you in the Super Bowl. So, again, good QB. And I think that they don't really care. They're saying, hey, we'll beat the Niners, we'll beat the Eagles, we'll beat the Chiefs. We can beat everyone. We can do what we want to do. To me, they're the best team right now just because they feel the most complete. You have an offense, you have a defense, and they just feel most complete all around. Whereas again, Niners have a rookie QB, and I think again, if you can contain Jalen Hurts, maybe he can kind of struggle. Defensively, sometimes. They've again. It was this shootout against the Cowboys at the end of the season there, so the defense can allow points too. So, again, that's why I'm not super sold on every other team besides the Bengals. I think the Bengals again can do what they want to do because they're now going to be used to it. They're probably going to be in the Super Bowl again here in maybe the next 2 or 3 years again. So. Yeah, I don't have much to say about them because again they're battle tested. So are the Chiefs. I'm not saying they're not, but the Bengals are literally trying to repeat to get back to the Super Bowl again. Be AFC champions back to back years again. Now the Chiefs again they've done it too. Have they been back to back? I think they've been back to back. No, were they back? I think they were back to back. Yeah. Well, point is, they've been in the AFC Championship a lot. Been to 2 Super Bowls. So, anyway, moving on to the Chiefs here. I think what you need is a healthy Patrick Mahomes. So, you're trying to get through this week. You're trying to get through the Bengals. And you're trying to say, hey, if we can beat them, we have 2 weeks to recover. We have 2 weeks to, manage this injury. And, we get ready for the Super Bowl. They've had success. Been to 2 Super Bowls. They're 1-1. In the Super Bowl. So I think, again, the main thing here is getting Patrick Mahomes healthy. I think the Bengals are going to be the toughest test because, again, he just got hurt. And now, you're going to have 8 days because they played on Saturday. But, you're turning around the next week. You have to play a high-stakes game. You're at home, which is, that can help too. Arrowhead's the loudest stadium in the NFL. For fans. And so you're going to have that behind you. But you're going to need these new pieces that you just brought in to step up. No Tyreek Hill again. But they've been able to prove that, hey, we can do this without Tyreek Hill. We don't need him. Mahomes is still looking like Mahomes. The new wide receivers coming in are still doing their job, still doing their thing. They have a better run game than they did, say, 3 years ago when they faced the Niners in the Super Bowl. I think that's really clear to see that they now have a run game. And the defense, again, to me, it can be suspect at times. The Jags kept it close. And so if you're a Chiefs fan, that's what you're worried about, is the Bengals are way better than the Chiefs this year. And, you've, 0-3 against Joe Burrow. So, you don't really have the greatest of luck. I think, were the Chiefs at home last year for the AFC Championship game? I think they were. So, I believe Joe Burrow has gone to Arrowhead and has actually beat, Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead too. So, this is it. This is your Super Bowl, and next week it's like, okay, well, if we can get past that, we have 2 weeks to heal up, and it's like, well, you've already beaten the Niners, so do you want them or do you want the Eagles? I think the Eagles would make it a shootout because, again, I think they'll take advantage of that defense. But again, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's they have a high-powered offense too. Have Kelsey out there too. So I think an Eagles-Chiefs game would be a shootout, and that that would be a lot of blood pressure rising. So I think if you want the Niners again, can that defense get after Brock Purdy, disrupt his flow, disrupt him, passing George Kittle. Ayuk, Jennings, all these wide receivers out there, can they stop Christian McCaffrey? So I guess probably would. I think if I was a Chiefs fan, I would probably more so want like an Eagles style game. Because then it's like, okay, well, if Patrick Mahomes gets the ball last, then it's probably gonna, Chiefs are probably gonna win the Super Bowl. Versus, again, you already, you beat the Niners once. Not saying you can't do it again. But they're going to be out for blood this time. If it's a Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl, they're going to be out for blood. So, again, just probably the Eagles more so than the Niners. But this is the game. This weekend's the game for them to make or break it. This is going to be, in my opinion, the real test for the Chiefs. Now, again, the Niners defense real good. They're real good. Probably the best defense left here, but they have struggled against the Bengals in the past. And it's if you can get over that hurdle, it's probably your hardest hurdle. And then it's like, okay, well, let's see what Patrick Mahomes can do against the Niners defense again. Which again, he's already done. He's already beaten them. So those are the 4 teams. Let me know, did I miss anything? I guess let me know your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? I already have my predictions that went up earlier today too. So, yeah, just let me discuss the last 4 teams here. Again, I don't want to do a power rankings for 4 teams. It just kind of feels real dumb to me to do that. So, who is the best shot? Who is the who do you think is going to struggle? Again, to me, the most complete offensive, defensive wise is the Bengals. Versus, if Mahomes was healthy, there's some points where it's like, I don't know if I trust that defense, the Chiefs defense, because again, the Jags kept it close, so we'll see. But yeah, who's the most complete team? Who's the least complete team here of the 4? I know some people are probably gonna say Niners, just because again you have a rookie QB, but he's still undefeated. So for now, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.